All right, today we're diving into a really radical idea: how to manifest massive wealth by changing who you are on the inside, long before you see any proof on the outside. And to really get it, we're going to look at the incredible journey of Kathleen Cameron. Okay, so let's just start with this quote because, wow, it sounds pretty much impossible, right? Going from 50 grand in debt to a cool $1 million in just 7 months. I mean, that kind of financial turnaround just defies all logic. So the big question is, how? How on earth does that actually happen? What's the secret? Well, the answer isn't some hot stock tip or a new business plan. No, it's all about a deep, profound shift in your mind. And the answer, the real key, lies in what's called the millionaire mindset paradox. To really master this, you've got to get past two really fundamental challenges that honestly stop most of us dead in our tracks. And it really all boils down to these two big, tricky questions. First, how in the world do you genuinely feel like a millionaire when your bank account is screaming that you're in debt? And second, how do you stop your brain from obsessing over the exact step-by-step plan to get there? Let's tackle that first challenge. So this brings us to the first huge hurdle, what we can call the evidence trap. This is that constant nagging battle between your brain, which needs cold, hard proof for everything, and your desire to create a new reality out of thin air. I mean, think about it. Our whole lives we're taught to trust what we can see, touch, and measure. If it's not real, prove it. We need lab tests, diplomas, x-rays, bank statements. Our reality is literally built on a foundation of tangible evidence. And here's what's so wild about all this. The person teaching this believe it first mindset comes from the most evidence-based world you can imagine. She's a registered nurse, 2 science degrees, a former research assistant. Her entire professional life was about proving things with hard data. So this right here, this is the core conflict, the total flip in thinking you have to make. The scientific mind, the one we're all trained in, needs to see it to believe it. But the millionaire mind, it works in complete reverse. You have to believe it first to eventually see it. You stop looking for evidence and you start creating it with your belief. Okay, so how do you actually do this? How does this shift work in the real world? It all starts with this one core idea: your feeling, your vibration. That's what creates your reality, not what's happening around you right now. Let's use confidence as an example, because we've all seen this, right? Someone walks into a room and you can just feel they lack confidence. They stand differently, they talk differently. That vibration of self-doubt is almost a physical thing, and you see the world react to it. People might talk over them or dismiss their ideas. But here's the cool part. You can totally flip that script. First, you just decide to be confident, even if you feel like a fraud. Then you start to act the part. Shoulders back, make eye contact. That action starts to generate the actual vibration of confidence, and before you know it, you'll see the world start reflecting that new you right back at you. And this is the absolute game changer. The idea is that this isn't just a party trick for confidence. It's a universal law, and it applies directly to money. The universe, or reality, or whatever you want to call it, isn't responding to your bank statement. It's responding to the dominant feeling, the vibration you are putting out there about your wealth. And that is exactly what she did. In the middle of being $50,000 in debt, she made this completely audacious, radical decision. She said, okay, I'm a millionaire then. And she committed with everything she had to convincing herself of that truth, to generating that vibration, no matter what her bank account said. Okay, so once you make that commitment, you immediately run into the second massive roadblock: the need to let go of the how. This is that powerful, almost overwhelming urge to figure out every single step from A to Z. You know the feeling, right? The second you decide, okay, I'm a millionaire, your logical brain just starts screaming at you. But how? What's the plan? How are you going to do that? Show me the spreadsheet. It wants to be in control. But here's the thing. The argument is that figuring out the how, well, it's not your job. Your only job is to get so completely aligned with the feeling, to fuse with the belief that you already are that person. And once you do that, the how will start to show up step by step. So what do? You completely change the question you're asking. You stop asking, how am I going to do this? And instead, in any moment, you just ask, what would the millionaire version of me be doing right now? And that simple shift points your intuition in the right direction for the very next step. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But what does it actually look like to embody an identity you haven't earned yet in the real world? So check out this story. It's a perfect example. Kathleen was at a work conference. And on paper, according to the company's official ranks, she was at a certain level of leadership, but not the top one. That was the external evidence, her official reality. But instead of accepting that label, she made a choice. She decided to show up that day as the elite level leader she knew she was becoming. She dressed like one, she talked to people like she was already there, and she walked right up and sat in the front row where all the top dogs were sitting. She just embodied it. And then the payoff. This is so cool. Another leader, someone who didn't know her, came up to her and asked point blank, "So when did you become an elite leader?" They didn't see the spreadsheets. They felt her energy. They felt her vibration. The outside world literally just confirmed her inner state was her new reality. And that right there, that's the whole lesson in a nutshell. You don't have to wait for the job title or the invitation to claim the identity. Your inner state of being has to come first. The evidence always follows the belief. You have to act as if your wish is already a done deal. So it was this unwavering, almost stubborn commitment to her new identity, ignoring what was in her bank account and fully stepping into her future self, that allowed the impossible to become possible. 50,000 in debt to 1 million in revenue, all in just 7 months. And that really leaves us with one final powerful question to think about. If you just for a moment could ignore all the evidence of your life right now, your job, your bank account, what people say about you, who would you choose to be? And more importantly, what's the very first thing that version of you would do today?